everybody, and welcome to Nerdsplaining Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva. With me, as always, my co-host, Jose Romero.
What up, Eric, man? It's been a couple weeks.
I know. How was your week vacation, man?
I gotta say,
It doesn't matter what year was. You chose the worst time. The worst time. Like literally the day you leave. Not only did we get the Moon Knight trailer, and we got the Doctor Strange trailer, and we saw the end of Peacemaker, but literally Russia is attacking Ukraine. When you leave, everything goes sideways. Up is down, left is right. You're a bad, like, you cannot take vacations anymore. I'm sorry, you can't.
guilty as charged. I'll pay the penance. But despite all that, we should be incredibly excited. All you nerds gotta be incredibly excited. You know why, Eric?
Why?
Because Batman comes out next week on the
True.
4th. Some people get to watch it on the 1st. Good for them.
Right.
I will be watching in just 3 days on Sunday. Got an early screening, which I'll be attending.
Oh, really?
So I am hyped, very excited for the Batman. A couple of there's an embargo, on the reviews, but some stuff in UK. I guess it debuted in the UK yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was. And a couple of people kind of, put out some tweets or whatever the case is, and it's been stellar reviews for whatever that's worth.
For all 2 hours and 55 minutes of February?
It's the fucking British, fucking tea and crumpets. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah. So can you really trust them? I don't know. Maybe we can.
I don't know.
But for what it's worth, they've been
these Austin Powers people may not know exactly how a super movie should play out.
Exactly. So, take that with a grain of salt. But, dude, yeah, I'm super excited, bro. 2-3 days, I'll be doing a review of a put on the channel. I think the embargo list on the 28th. So I'll probably put it just early as I can. I don't know exactly what time, whatever. So I'll jump it on there. And obviously you're going to watch it on the 6th. I know we talked about it before.
Yeah,
we'll do a spoiler unless you want to do a pre-spoiler review where I spoil, and if you don't mind hearing the spoilers to a certain extent. We could do that.
I think you should do a spoiler review independently. Okay. One of your Jose Romero.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do a non-spoiler, and I do if I do a spoiler, always a few days, wait till it releases, give people a chance.
Right. You do the non-spoiler first, and then when the embargo is like the day that it comes out at like 12:01, you release your spoiler review version of it. So it's all official.
We'll definitely break this bad boy down. I can't wait for this. I'm excited for this. Now the year starts with the release. We talked about this. This was the release thus far.
Right.
So yes, look out the 20th. I believe that's it's Monday, no? Yeah, Monday. So whenever it is, I'll have it ready Sunday to go. I'll put on the channel. You guys check it. I'll give you my non-spoiler thoughts. Hopefully it's good thoughts. Hopefully it's not Boba Fett, but more towards Peacemaker.
Yeah, baby.
We'll just talk about shortly.
That's
listen.
DC has started off the year on the right foot.
Agreed. DC has been on a roll. I mean, the last thing that came out last year was Suicide Squad, right?
Right.
Which is great.
Right.
Then, we got Peacemaker, which we'll talk about, but spoiler alert, it's great. And the Batman. I mean, that's 3 good things in a row. That's good. It's consistency.
That's good.
Yeah, so that I'm excited. I can't wait for this. So, yeah, we'll deep dive, I'm sure, you and I, about a week or so about this one. So, but that being said, little things differently this week. We're doing a main event a little early, the main course, which is Peacemaker.
We're catching up because we missed out a lot. We gotta come in hot.
Yeah,
we gotta come in hot. This can't be just me being angry. We gotta come in hot.
We gotta come in hot. But before that, I went through one little nugget before, because I just caught wind of this about an hour ago. I haven't get a chance to prep for it, so I'm just gonna read off what I have.
All right.
But because it's a little funny tidbit here before we get into Peacemaker. But remember when I saw Fast and Furious, the 9th one, where it was a disaster. I don't know if you ever end up seeing the movie or not, Eric. But that being said, one of the things I prefaced was this movie should have had Marvel, at the beginning, the logo at the beginning of the movie. Right. Because Vin Diesel, he might as well be an Avenger, and et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
Apparently, I guess I'm not the only one who had that thought, and maybe there's something there. So there was an interview with Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, of course, whatever. Not a big fan of her role, but I like her as an actress. But I guess she's a huge fan of Fast and Furious. Apparently. So she mentioned a couple of things, and let me read the quote here. So, please, to everybody, I would of course want to be in a Fast and Furious movie, I'm obsessed. I don't know why. I love them. I think they're so good. They're so fun, and they made me appreciate cars. I'm down to play a new character and whatever it takes, but I'm very down for a crossover moment. I think you've tapped into something that is a true love of mine, so I would be so down. She let us say, quote, a crossover Avengers Fast and Furious would be a gajillion dollar idea.
Brie Larson, you're no Kevin Feige. I'll tell you that. That's.
It might as well be a crossover. It's the same shit as Vin Diesel.
Listen.
Is as powerful as Thor, for Christ's sake. So why not?
As a comic fan, the Avengers have crossed over with like Transformers and GI Joes, and it's never good. It's never good. There's never like, oh man, I'm so glad they're finally crossing over with the Fast and the Furious. I mean, listen, if you're gonna do that, make it animated, put it straight to streaming, because it's just a toy grab. That's all it is. You're making action figures at that point. You're not telling a fun movie that happens to be toys. It's straight up toys. It's merchandise porn. It's merchandise porn. If the Avengers cross over, it's gonna be family assemble, and it's just all the products.
Like everyone else from Marvel, to bring up Paul Walker from a multiverse, and he's back in the mix, and there you go.
Oh my God, that would be his. Paul Walker from the multiverse is a Marvel character who dies right at the beginning, just right off the bat.
Fast 9 is in the same universe.
Paul Walker is Uncle Ben.
I said that 6 months ago, and it's coming to fruition. It's exactly what I said.
No, it's not. It was just talking. You had a dumb idea, and then another person who's not as smart as you had a worse idea. And you're like, look, great minds mess up alike, I guess.
But yes, right now I was like, I have to bring that up because that was just kind of amusing. Yeah, obviously that's not going to happen, but I mean, I was like,
I like Brie Larson. I don't like that idea.
It's not it may be a gajillion dollar idea because I mean, Avengers makes a bunch of fucking money, and so does Fast and Furious. Let's be honest. You wouldn't go watch it.
I would have a better time if the Fast and the Furious went so fast they went back to the 70s and bumped up to Brie Larson from Kong Skull Island. And now you have the Fast and the Furious people having to fight King Kong. Oh yeah, see, now I'm in. You got something. I can't
roll like that because Vin Diesel takes on King Kong in a punch. So it's just not an exciting fight.
No, listen, Vin Diesel's not going to take on King
Kong. Believe me, he'll take down Godzilla in a punch. I mean,
it's gonna be like that fight with the Rock from Fast and Furious 5. Thanos stand still. No one's gonna lose.
Thanos need 10 stones to go up against Vin Diesel to have a shot, dude. That's how powerful Vin Diesel is. It's just ridiculous. But no snap's gonna stop Vin Diesel. So that all being said, out the way, we'll get to some. We'll get to some different nuggets, and we do have a Marvel size main course later on too. So. But let's start, man. Peacemaker. Let's start with the show itself before we get to some of the news. HBO fanatic. I mean, let's do this. Come on.
Oh my God. So, I mean, you want to talk about a series that sticks the landing from top to bottom. That's it. It is just a not a masterpiece, but a master class. And this is how you come in and you do a season 1. You do what you can. You do it smart. It's not going to be aces across the board, and you learn from mistakes and you do better. It's just a really great, fun series. And I mean, listen, to the fact that they brought up the theme music to the penultimate final fight, and I was like, I love the fact that they were doing Wigwams, Do You Want to Taste It, while they're fighting through all that was great. And then when Hardcore gets shot and the music starts going, I was like, oh man, this is like, I'm in it. And when Anabayo comes in and she starts doing gung fu for the overweight people, so I'm like, oh, listen, I wish
inner John Wick, man, she was. Whew.
Oh man, it made me wish Chris Farley was still alive because I wanted to see him move like that. It would have been amazing. Like, oh, there's your Beverly Hills Ninja. You hear me? Like, that's how you do it.
And
that's how you do it right there.
The last show where someone was going to die, we figured it may be hard,
we thought it was going to be either Vigilante, or we thought it was going to be Anabayo, or it was going to be Economos. We thought those two were
when she got shot, I'm like, oh, there it is. They did it, which I'm glad they didn't, but
that's right.
I would have been okay either way, but I was like, oh, there it is. Okay, no, we got it wrong. So I was fine to get that wrong.
Let me tell you something. Vigilante, this that last episode, Vigilante had the
Yeah,
best
that was pretty
kills
badass.
of the whole thing. To the point when he got shot, he took out a knife and threw it back as he fell down. I was like, oh my god, this guy's a monster. Like, give me. I'm so glad they have a season 2 because I want to see more of Vigilante just being a sociopathic badass. Like, that was great. I was a big fan of all that. I loved. I love the comparison of like what the butterflies are really about as like exactly what
Sure.
Peacemaker's mission was. I love Anabio being the bullet that takes down the cow.
That was awesome, by
I
the
also
way.
love the fact that when Peacemaker kills Goth, but not in the face, to give the butterfly a chance to live. Like, I'm not gonna let you make your plan, and I've taken out your cow, so you're gonna die. But I'm
At
not
least,
gonna kill
at
you.
least not right away.
I
I
like
guess,
I
eventually he runs out of food, but
Right, it's gonna be a
yeah.
slow thing, and it's
Mhm.
giving a little bit of the stuff he has left still. So it's almost like I couldn't let you win, but I don't think I should have been the one that killed you too. I like that sort of like that gray area that he's no longer black and white, which is like I have to kill every man, woman, and child for peace. Like depending, it doesn't have to be that thing. And I love the end shot where it's just him in the trailer feeding Goth.
Yeah.
Eagly is next to him, and then the ghost of his dead racist dad is like, God damn it, that was a great haunting shot of like where he is now. Like, he's better, but he's good. He's actually worse now where he's at on
Yeah,
his
and
path to being
and we
better.
talked about
And
where
it's almost
in the
like
ending has to. We don't want to see a cliffhanger and all that bullshit. Finish the story, and then and you don't have to
and
set
they
something
did.
up. But maybe they did a little siege, but at least the story was complete, right? So I was happy
Yeah,
to see that.
absolutely. Now, not only was it complete, but it gave us a
Surprise
surprise cameo
cameos.
that
Wait, I don't think
I
anybody saw
didn't
this
see
coming
coming.
at
Did
all.
not see it coming at all. I was super
That was awesome.
surprised.
That was awesome. Come on.
First, oh man, the fact that when I saw them on Shadows, I go, oh, okay, it's gonna be that we couldn't get the
Sure.
cast, or just a bunch of people in costumes. I literally thought like, oh, they're doing the end of Shazam, but
Right.
you get to see their heads, but they're all shadow. So when they cut literally to Mimosa and Momoa
Miller. That's what I'm Mhm.
what's his name that does the Flash,
That
I was
was
like,
cool. Yeah.
oh, cool, that's
Yeah.
great. That was a lot of, and I love the way when he goes, but it's not. I like, fuck you, Barry.
That
Like,
that was a
it was
great
great. I
interaction. I mean,
loved
and if you
that.
think
Like,
about it, it does make sense. I mean, Henry Cavill, we know what's going on with him, so I get it. Gal Gadot, she's high price. I get it. But Aquaman's got a movie coming out.
right.
Flash has got a movie coming out, right? So there's all
Flash
part
has
of the
got a movie coming
promo
out.
stuff. So it
Oh,
that
and
makes
by the
sense for
way,
them two to show up on this. So
here's here's a little inside baseball I found out. They filmed that last portion of Peacemaker on the studio set where they're
no,
filming
no way.
Guardians of the
That's funny.
Galaxy. Yeah, and here's another kicker: the audition tape that James Gunn taped. I forgot the guy who played Mur, but the actor who played Mur. He's in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. His audition tape was filmed
Oh, that's
while
funny.
doing
Okay.
Peacemaker
Wow.
to send to Marvel. So there's almost like this weird. So there was we talked a story about a few months ago about how The Rock and Gal Gadot
Ryan Reynolds.
and Ryan Reynolds was talking about with the issue of Marvel DC crossover. I officially think that if anyone can pull that off with that star power behind him, it'd be James Gunn. Because apparently both of them are like, James, yeah,
Oh, like,
you
yeah.
got this, dude.
Right. I mean,
So
he
it
has, in terms of, I guess, their universes or whatever, he has carte blanche, I think, at this point, maybe, perhaps. Yeah.
Right, I
Yeah.
think so. He's got total carte blanche, and so like to me that just makes me like I don't know if it's gonna happen, but before I thought it'll never happen, and I'm like, there's a
That's fine.
six
I can live with
percent
that.
chance it'll happen.
I can live with that. I mean, listen,
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah,
kudos to him. And like we said, they did announce officially a season 2, written and directed by James Gunn. So it's
season
not a
two.
season 2 handed off to whomever, Robert Rodriguez or some nonsense.
Right,
Right.
all
So
episodes this time directed by
that's
him
I
too,
can't
not
wait.
just
That's awesome news. We talked about hoping that would be the
yeah.
case, and it is fantastic. And he's got the other spin-off or other show unannounced yet.
Right,
Right.
which is gonna be totally
Yeah,
different than
so
this, which is
that's
gonna be
okay.
interesting to
Why
watch.
not? I'm excited. No matter what it is, I'm gonna watch it. So awesome. But another bit of news to share on this one, which I found interesting, was HBO. Like I said, these streamers release information when when it benefits them, right? Only with the best. But so
Only when
that
it
being
benefits
said, they
them, of
said that
course.
the finale, a couple of things. One, the finale, I think it was the most watched show on HBO Max for the premiere, or something along those lines. For HBO Max, not HBO total, including like Game of Thrones. That Game of Thrones, yeah, it's
Still
just
fair.
HBO Max
Still
or when it
fair.
released a year and a half ago, whenever that was. So yeah, they didn't do more Game of Thrones, and they don't make it excited. Let's not kid ourselves. But that's great for them. I don't think they expected those numbers. And also, I learned that the finale, the viewership went up 44% from the original episode, which is a huge
Wow.
increase in number. Usually, maybe 10%, 20. That's 20 would be considered great. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
44% increase. That
So
which that just
44.
speaks to the word of mouth, right? The quality of the show. Everyone, oh, you got to see this show, and everyone just jumped on board. Going back to this, what happens? You release a show weekly,
I
right?
have not heard. I have not heard people this excited and recommending this show to other people since The Mandalorian. Like Mandalorian's when people are like, you gotta watch The Mandalorian. You gotta watch The Mandalorian. Peacemaker is the same thing. I've heard so many people like, you gotta watch Peacemaker, and I was like, oh wow, okay,
Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
that's
So
that's clearly what
that's
happened,
really cool that they
because
were.
obviously, again, 44%. That's huge. That's almost double from the
Yeah.
first episode. I mean, wow. So that's impressive. So yeah, look, home run for HBO, all the way around. I mean, yeah, they did it. Good for
They did it.
them.
Good for them. They needed a definitive bragging right
Yeah,
win in the streaming wars, and this is their
yeah,
first
and I
legit like we
think
got
I have to
this.
double check. At a certain point, Peacemaker was outpacing Boba Fett. Um, it,
Which doesn't
which is
surprise me.
impressive. You know, I mean,
But
Star
it's
Wars has its fam. You know, Star Wars is Star Wars, right? People watch it, even if it's shit, they're
yeah,
gonna watch it. It is what
sure,
it is. So for them to
sure.
do that, a character, Peacemaker, which really, okay, who fucking knew about Peacemaker, except for Suicide Squad, and that wasn't a huge movie. So that's pretty impressive, man. I mean, to do that, right?
A dude in a bright red shirt, bright blue gloves, and wearing like a hospital like pisser on his head. That dude is rivaling,
That's what
if
I'm saying,
not
right?
beating
It's
Star
different
Wars.
if it was
That's a
this was a
huge
Batman
accomplishment.
show. Okay,
Huge.
fine, I can, Superman, or whatever. Okay,
Yeah, of
great, but
course.
Peacemaker. So that shows the quality. The show is great. It's just great, dude. A good ending. Stuck
Yeah.
it. Best DC show that's been made by far. We mentioned that.
By the way, I did want to give out an honorable mention because we're talking about DC. Last year we have the worst DC shows ever, which is Titans, and they killed Hawk. Hawk is
Reacher.
in a new
Good
show
show.
on Amazon called Reacher, which apparently
Good show.
is. I'm so glad he got that. What I'm just saying is this: because of what he had to go through to Titans, I'm so glad that dude is now on Reacher.
Yeah,
He deserves it. You should watch it if you haven't seen it.
it's
It's not
good. Yeah,
sci-fi.
ass kicking
This is a good
show, and
ass
he's not a
kicking
great actor,
show.
but he's good in it. But his physical, dude, the guy's fucking ripped, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, listen.
Oh yeah. I mean, do you remember we've talked about this? Like every time he took off a shirt, I was
Yeah,
like, oh yeah,
and
that's
I
why
think
he's
he's
a
bigger
superhero.
now.
I
He
get it now.
wasn't.
Yeah. So
It seems like at least he's more cut up. He's in the Momoa Rock level in terms of
yeah,
physique. Chris Hemsworth. This guy's jacked. So yeah, but a really good show. I like it. Entertaining, and the season 2 for that as well coming out. That's been greenlit.
I hope if they're gonna give Peacemaker a physical challenge, they should get that. What's his
Yeah,
name from
I think they're
Reacher
just even
to
bigger
be
than
on that
Cena,
because
potentially. It's close. It's close.
that'd be
Yeah.
that'd be really interesting to see because
Oh
Cena
no, he's
is a
built. Yeah,
walking
he's
tank.
yeah,
So to see
yeah.
that comparison
Yeah, I don't
level,
think John
I'd
Cena's
like to see
John
something
Cena's
like
as
that.
tall, but
I don't
either
know
way.
which character you would get him to
But
play.
yeah, kudos to him.
Right. Either that or Joe Magnolia comes back as Deathstroke as he
Oh
was supposed to be in
that's
Justice League.
yeah.
That'd be a
See,
cool
that'd
one
be a
too.
cool HBO
I'd like to
show,
see that.
and
Yeah.
a show and a cool
That
HBO
would be
Max.
yeah.
Unlike this show here, it's a segue of a first story. Since we're on the subject of shows on HBO Max or movies or whatever, so and DC. So apparently, I don't know why. So maybe you can help me out here, Rick. So apparently, they're the Wonder Twins
There you go,
from
Pop.
animated Justice League lore
Ah, yes.
is being brought to HBO Max, and the movie from the same writer, from the guy who did Black Adam, whatever that's worth. We haven't seen it, so I don't know if that's good or bad. But yeah, dude. So he's gonna write and direct it. The same guy, I think, is Adams. I can't pronounce his last name. It's real last name. But either way, if Black Adam was great, then I guess I should be a little more excited. But the Wonder Twins, really, do I want to see a guy turn in the water?
Sure.
I mean, is there anything cool we should know about the Wonder Twins that warrants a movie or series or whatever, HBO Max. I mean, seriously, is there any iteration of these two guys these two
The only
characters?
way, in my humble opinion, the only way the Wonder Twins would work is they pitched it like they revamped
Oh,
Rescue Rangers Chippendale. It's got to be that like 30 years later, like we used to be big. What happened? Everyone's got their own franchise except us. Like that, I think would be really fun to do. But if you're gonna play it straight, it's kind of tricky because Jaina was the one with the
right,
most badass
animal
powers
shit,
because
which
she
is
could turn
cool.
into any animal she wanted.
Yeah, but
But
yeah,
but oh, what happened here? I think something just
I
happened.
lost you. But I can still hear you, so go ahead. I'm sure.
Okay. So
there you go.
oh, there we go. But I don't know how do you, because it's not even the, do I want to see a guy turn into water? I mean,
It's so lame.
Yeah, it is kind of lame, and yeah, I mean, the last time I saw a cool water monster was in the Abyss, so it's been a minute, like.
Yes.
So like that's the only time I can think of like a watery person thing. So it's kind of hard. But then but even then, let's say you crack you crack the egg on how to make water work on that. You still got Bleep, the blue buck-toothed monkey. And you're like,
the monkey. Oh my god.
The monkey Bleep, man. You can't. There's a lot to unpack on this movie. If
Do we want to unpack it? That's the question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just leave it in the box.
Unless they do it jokey like Rescue Rangers, I don't know if you can play it straight.
I don't. I did hear someone say that, and this actually sounded cool for whatever it's. Speaking of water powers, right? But
Okay.
I guess I don't know if it came out on some animated or comic. I don't know. I have no idea. I forgot where the reference came from, but
sure,
for something that either way I guess it was in some kind of room, and he turned in the water, obviously, and drowned everybody. Sounded kind of cool. So it was a little bit darker take on these characters.
One time.
No, one time. But I'm saying, how can you? I don't know. Unless they.
How many moves are they?
If you give them all the powers, I'm okay with that. Make them something different. They don't have to be water, right? They can fucking turn into, I don't know, whatever, anything elemental, wind, fire, whatever. I don't know. Figure it out.
If it was something where he could not only turn into water but control water, like a Sandman,
sure.
Then I'd be like,
yes.
Okay,
that'd be
then
more
I
interesting.
can kind of see, right, exactly, because you can blast people with water, you can escape things, you can jump into someone like and drown them from the inside. Like there's a couple of things you can do, but if it's just water, it's gonna be a hard sell.
This whole thing is I don't get it. Listen, on the eve, not on the eve, but I guess after the aftermath of Peacemaker, I guess I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Here's the thing, because he wrote Black Adam got made and he wrote that. Do you think he was like, I want to do Wonder Twins? They're like, whoa, easy. Let's start with something practical, like Black Adam. The Shazam god, the dark anti-hero. Do that. If that works, we'll give you the Wonder Twins. Like, was that his goal? His end goal was to get Wonder Twins to get to Black Adam first to kind of prove his mettle?
His goal is to make Wonder Twins cool and
Oh
come
my
hell
God.
high water, pun intended. But
unless Quentin Tarantino's executive producing it, and I'm not going to be like, nah, I don't know.
It's odd. An odd choice. I mean, it's early. Listen, Black Adam, that movie is fantastic. Then maybe, okay, fine. I get it, right? I mean, they gave him this project, so I assume they liked what they saw from Black Adam, right?
Possibly.
Possibly. I mean, you're not going to give a director another chance. If Black Adam is sucking, that's saying, okay, do something else for us. I don't see that happening. So maybe they like what we're getting from Black Adam. I'm trying to look at the most positive thing. Black Adam, one for me, one for you. Can I do this here? One for okay. What do you want? Okay, after this is. I
also am wondering what's the budget going to be like on this movie. That's it. Like, is it going to be 80 million like Deadpool, or is it going to?
No. This is going to be like Peacemaker. I heard the budget's really low. I didn't have the exact numbers, but it wasn't high, and it didn't.
But you could do Peacemaker low because you didn't need a lot of superpowers. You need special effects.
I agree. So I don't know. I mean, I don't see him pumping a bunch of money. I really do.
40, it's definitely not going to be. I don't see it getting 100 mil.
No,
I don't see it now.
I'm thinking 50 to 60 at best. I don't know.
Maybe they did it for the point where you start off seeing them on their alien planet and how they got to Earth, so you can kind of gradually show something. I'm thinking, and like here's my pitch. This is the only way I can try to make Wonder Twins cool. Here's my pitch. You start off with their planet. it's not a Superman situation where they have to escape their planet, but maybe they're just traveling and they get hit by something, a meteor shower, maybe they get caught in a cosmic battle, whatever the case is. They land on Earth, and they're found by a government. The government starts experimenting on them because of their genetic makeup. They realize that their genetic makeup can be manipulated, and so they take the samples of their blood and they use it to experiment on a monkey. That's what causes bleep. And by them experimenting on their genetic cells, it's almost like Pietro and Wanda, accidentally give them powers. But the powers are triggered when their multiple DNAs connect each other, and that's why they touch. And now you have this thing. And then they learn how to work with the powers, and Bleep is like somehow psychically connected to them as well, because he's become evolved based on their genetic injections. And now you have the Wonder Twins. That I think would be like a compelling way to do it, and you can kind of budget it out to not be so expensive. That's it. And even then, it's a stretch.
No, it's a stretch. I mean, yeah, I'm so curious now. I'm just curious to see what the fuck you do with this. I mean, it's good. Listen, this may be.
I'm gonna get super wasted and watch it. And I'm gonna be like, let's see
this
what
might
happens.
be something where that's exactly what we're gonna have to do, because this may be a huge blunder by DC and Warner Bros.
It could be the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, listen, this won't be the first time. It's not the first time DC's blundered, not the first time Warner Bros. Has blundered. Speaking of
that's
which,
the problem.
Speaking of other companies that blunder, we have Paramount with their own blunder, and this is an interesting story.
So
apparently Paramount had their stockholders meeting, whatever, like Disney had. They all do that, but they announced a bunch of shit or whatever.
Sure.
So they announced that they were gonna move forward with Star Trek 4 with the original cast from this
long
iteration.
rumored and
people talking what's going on. We've heard Quentin Tarantino involved. We have the totally different story. Chris Hemsworth been playing the father. All kinds of stuff's been floating around for the longest time, but there's been no movement. They officially announced it. Not a blunder at the time, but apparently
impressive. It'd be impressive.
But apparently, it helps to make the movie with the original cast if you actually have signed the original cast before making said announcement. So this got a release date. They said it's going to start shooting this fall. And mind you, the script's not even ready yet. Whatever, neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. But apparently, there's a story about where the management and the actors were like surprised this was announced, because news to them.
Wow.
Nobody told us they're making a movie with us. I would assume you probably have to have someone signed before you actually make an announcement. I'm just saying. Where they, I heard the stock dropped 20% after this little blunder. I think they were trying to hype shit up, potentially.
Right.
Oh, we got Star Trek 4 coming out. Yay.
Oh, I wish I
Do you?
Video. I wish I got the video. They're going, they're like saying anything. I was like, it doesn't look really good. We're doing Star Trek 4. Woo, oh, shit. They're like, be everybody. Hurry up. Hurry up.
I know. There's confetti coming down. Yeah. Chris Pine's like, hold up. And yeah, so he hasn't signed. I know I heard he may be in talks. Talks doesn't mean he's signed.
Right.
And it doesn't mean shit. Because the big issue with before was that they were asking, Pine in particular was asking for a lot more money. They wanted him to take a pay cut. He's like, nah, bro, that's not happening. So the cast is going to follow suit. They're going to follow Pine.
Look, here's the thing. You got Pine, who's a big star.
Right.
Peg is a big writer. You got what's her name who plays Gamora. She's a big star now.
They're much bigger. They're all bigger than what they when it first started. And this guy was Spock.
The only two that you can get, the only three that you could get easily is you can get unfortunately Cho because Cowboy Bebop got canceled, so he's got to get him.
Sure.
Zachary Quinto, because he's not really doing anything much right now.
He's small stuff, but he's not a. He
this
hasn't
would be
blown
an
up.
easy get. Like you'd be an easy get for him. Sure. And unfortunately, the guy who played Chekhov, but he's dead. So there is a lot that you're gonna have to battle.
Winona Ryder, she just finished Stranger Things. So you can bring her back as Spock's mom for whatever.
But,
but yeah, so it's because they didn't want to pay him before. I mean, because listen, first of all, let's assume all this was true. I don't know. It doesn't make good business sense to announce this, number one, but to make this movie anyway, it just doesn't. These movies don't make that much money. The last one lost money, for Christ's sake, and it was actually one of the better ones.
Yeah, you're right. I actually just saw Star Trek Beyond.
It's good. It's really good.
it took me like I just watched it literally during the pandemic. That's why I finally got around to it. That's how long it was before I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good.
It's good,
But
it didn't make money. And none of them
no,
have really made this because they make enough for these huge
the
budgets.
first one made money.
It made money, but not a lot comparison to the budget. Right now, the budget it's 200, 250 now. It's not a viable franchise. Right. If you make it for 100, okay. But now with these salaries bumping up, you got to pay Pine. You know, they all got to get a little taste. You know, right? Which is why they want them to take a pay cut. That was the whole story. That they want to make a viable movie, have to take, and they're like, no way.
If you want to get everyone back, do what Marvel does. You pay them a base. And you promise them points on the back. This way, everyone does their best because they know they're gonna get that money. Right.
But I'll say this: Paramount just lost their, if they had it to begin with, any leverage.
Oh yeah.
How do we know? Well, you announced it already. Well, now it's time to pay the piper.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Paramount's like, how good is Halo gonna do? You got any heads over that? I'm a little nervous.
I mean, listen, they announced Halo 2. I hope they told the cast. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. Halo 2, yay! It was
they also announced
stock prices going up.
Female employees are pregnant. None of them are pregnant. They're just overweight, and it's been very awkward the whole time.
At least they can get away with it in Halo because they don't have to show the gun in the helmet. Think anybody in the outside play that. So I'll give them that. Right. Chris Pine, you got to see Chris Pine. It was just man, that's really bad. It's really bad for Paramount, which is why they're lagging behind for good reason.
What if Paramount hires the guy who does the deep fakes for Disney? Because can you put all their faces on?
Have to do something. I don't know what the legalities behind that are. I have no idea. But at this point, yeah. So this is it. This is ongoing. Let's see if this comes to fruition. I mean, so maybe it does. Maybe they back up the Brink stroke. You made a good point with the back end points. I don't know. Let's see, because now they're kind of putting back themselves in the corner. Okay, this is the credibility. Now next year when they announce something, or bullshit. People remember this kind of bullshit. They do. And the stockholders, they remember, which is why the stock price dropped 20%, which is a substantial drop.
Hell yeah.
That's a big drop. So yeah, that was oops. So it is what it is. But let's get up to a company that doesn't blunder much anymore.
Paramount just did a business version of calling out another person's name while you're having sex with somebody else.
Exactly. And God doesn't count. So let's move on to a company who's proven to be very business savvy, unlike Paramount apparently. Sony. And look, quick thing here that they made a casting announcement for Craven the Hunter, which is upcoming at some point. They got this guy named Fred Hetchinger, something like that. He's from the show called White Lotus. I'm not too familiar with that show, to be honest with you.
I think that's the one on HBO.
I believe so. Yeah, young guy, young kid. But he's been brought on board. He's going to be playing the Chameleon. In Craven's solo film. So I was like, okay, so now we know. Well, Chameleon is a villain as far as right. I mean,
also Chameleon is related to Craven.
Are they? Is he now?
Yes.
I was going to ask you that kind of relationship between.
They are related. They are related. As a matter of fact, when they brought Craven back in the proper Spider-Man comic books, it was Craven's wife Calypso, Craven's son, and also the Chameleon. And because they're all Kravenovs. That's the last name, is a Russian name, Kravenovs. And so and Chameleon was a Russian spy. So it kind of it all kind of connects together. Especially now with things are going on in the world. Very interesting kind of character to play out now. A Russian spy who could look like anybody. That's
interesting. Yeah. If they go that route, who knows what they're gonna do with it? But I mean, he's not. I mean, because he's a villain. At any point that he's been in odds with Craven in the comics before. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah, they've been in odds with this several times. Okay. Very much. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. A Chameleon, oddly enough, first villain to appear in Spider-Man's first comic book series, Amazing Spider-Man #1. Chameleon was the bad guy. First introduced in Amazing Spider-Man #1. So he's got legacy. He showed up before Craven did.
Okay.
And it wasn't until later on when they revealed, they're actually brothers, and that was a whole thing. But yeah, that is that. So it's kind of it makes sense that he would be there.
It makes sense, but I don't think there is ties to Spider-Man, obviously.
Right.
So it makes
right. But now I'm wondering, are they gonna be working together? Are they gonna be antagonists?
That's the question.
That's kind of an interesting kind of a thing.
Is he the villain? Because I assume Craven's gonna be. He can be an anti-hero.
The anti-hero.
He's a Venom. Right. This was going to be, right? Judging by the tone of these films, I assume it's going to be an anti-hero like Morbius and, Venom. So, yeah, I assume he's a bad guy, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe he's just in it and,
Well, he could be part of
He
Craven's
could
support
be
team, you know?
right. I mean, I don't know, but yeah.
Right.
So it's interesting, but interesting choice. And now we know Chameleon's been introduced. Like I said, he's been around since the beginning in Spider-Man
Right.
and the
Yeah.
Spider World, Spider-Man world. So cool. Okay, so that's interesting. So I kind of like that. Marvel. Well, we're making the rounds here. Every big major studio is making the rounds here. So we
Yes, we are.
got this one. This is just for you. This is right. This is near and dear to your heart.
Everyone, this past week and a half, every studio was showing. It was like your Instagram photos. Like, check it out. Look at me. Look what I'm doing. Because they really are.
Paramount had the
everyone
Photoshop
had
and Chris Pine in the back.
It was a bad filter.
Everybody else had legit people. So Moon Knight news.
I'm not a cat. This is the filter. I'm not actually a cat at Paramount.
Oh, I need to get the chameleon for that. So we got it is hard, that guy. So Moon Knight, we got some news of Moon Knight. I know it's near and dear to your heart. You're very excited about the show. I'm looking forward to it by end of March, right? I think so. Right, so it's
March 30th.
So
March 30th.
There's no Disney Plus watching for another 30 days. I have no problem with that. So yeah, so the writer came out, revealing some changes he had to do in relation to the similarities between Moon Knight and Batman, which you mentioned there's been a kind of that Moon Knight is the Batman.
Always,
of the MCU,
it's always been
right?
sort of like the unofficial references, like, oh, that's just the
right, exactly.
Marvel's
They're going to lean more towards this Egyptian lore, which you had alluded to when we saw about the trailers,
right?
And they got Egyptologists in here helping, assisting them, and stuff like that. And yeah, but
which is
leaning
cool.
More to
I
the
like
mythology, that. And I guess the story. I know one of the personalities was his playboy, right? Who was Bruce Wayne, quote unquote, right? And now, yeah, the moving away
Grant
from
character,
that. He's going to be he's an archaeologist or what, Egyptologist or whatever they call it. Yeah,
Egyptologist,
not kind of a little bit nerdy. I guess more on the nerdy side, not the cool suave Bruce Wayne-ish character.
Which, hearing that makes perfect sense why they introduced Stephen Grant up front, because they want you to know that one major Bruce Wayne comparison, we changed that altogether because we don't want that at all. So that was a really interesting. Now it makes more sense when they're approaching them like
in
that.
The trailer, that's one of the things I was like, I'm kind of thinking, where's maybe the Playboy guy is down the road or something. But obviously, I think they're doing away with that altogether. So it's a cool change. I mean, I guess I'm not familiar with the comics, so I don't know how that's going to affect anything, if it even does. But whatever. So this is going to be a lot of difference between this and the comics.
I think it'll be minor at best. It'll be minor at best because to me it feels like, how do you make someone feel like white collar upper tier without making him like a Bruce Wayne character, where you make him someone who's like highly educated, like Ivy League kind of college thing. So he's very smart. So he's used to being around that sort of like upperclassman without having the money to show for it, because he's educationally upper class instead of financially.
It took inspiration from like Raiders of the Lost Ark and stuff like that when they're doing these scenes in Egypt and whatnot, whatever the case is, which makes perfect sense.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I think that's interesting. I mean, okay, listen, like I said, I don't mind they ever change shit up. I really don't care. I prefer when they change things up, right? Give it a fresh spin or take on stuff.
I also heard, which explains why now they're making his costume be more supernatural.
Right, which you had mentioned,
because they're trying to. Yeah, so it makes sense too. And I don't know if you heard about this. They also announced that for Khonshu, the god of Moon Knight, is being voiced by F. Murray Abraham.
Great. Yeah.
So there's a bunch of cool little things. I'm like, oh, this is shaping up to be a really interesting series now, like more than I expected.
And they talked to Oscar Isaac about, because he had mentioned before. I guess there was no season 2 announced. This was going to be a limited series. They had no idea, and they asked him about it, and he's saying that he hopes there's a season 2. So obviously they haven't greenlit anything, so which could be good. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest with you, because sometimes you got Halo just got greenlit, but I haven't even seen an episode yet, and sometimes it's Peacemaker, right? The wait and see what happens.
To be fair,
but usually Marvel,
exactly,
the way they plan, and they know when to have something good. We know this, right? So I'm curious as why that's.
I heard that the people who are directing Moon Knight have just been hired to also direct season 2 of Loki. So they're very happy with the people they got in place for this project,
which is good.
And
but the plan, the lack of plan is puzzling.
I don't think it's a lack of planning. I think it's that thing where it's like, whether Andrew Garfield's like, I don't know if I'm in Spider-Man. Like, I think it's what it is that they are trying to figure out, do we go movie right after this, or do we do a second season and then like a team movie and establish other characters, so we build up him better?
Where Marvel is just odd, because usually, like I said, they're 5 steps ahead. They are. So
I think
Right,
this is
it's
the
one of
one
those
like
like
they'll
it's
flip a
yeah, it's
coin
kind of odd.
based
Like
on
they're not
how big it
exactly
is.
sure how this is gonna. It's just I found that interesting. It may not mean anything. But it's just odd that usually they know what's up. They know he's gonna be if it's gonna be a movie that's already being worked on. It has to because it's gonna tie into everything else, right?
But they can't tell us. So I don't
You're right.
believe
He may
now.
be
I don't
just
believe
completely full
anything
of
any actor
shit.
says all the
Agreed.
time. I
That could
just
be who knows. I
right.
mean, whatever, whatever, for whatever that's worth.
Just like we're going to talk about another Marvel trailer and one of the big reveals in that trailer. And when they talk to this guy, the guy's like, I don't know. I was like, dude, it's
Oh,
your
yeah.
back of
Well,
your head
he
and
did
it's your
come back and
voice.
say he's in it, so
So
that was
it's
confirmed. Yeah, but
oh,
right,
did he? Okay,
he
but
may not
that's
have
what I'm
known.
saying. All
Some of
these
these people
guys,
don't know what the hell's
they're
going on. So, but yeah.
actors are actors are professionally paid,
That's
socially
what they
acceptable
do. You
liars.
know,
That's all they are.
Tom
So
Holland was bad at it. He got a little better. In pre No Way Home. But yeah, I mean, listen to Kelby and Garfield for all I
right.
know. But yeah, it just sounded interesting for whatever that's worth. But listen, obviously we got a month to go, so hopefully it's a cool show. It looks cool.
I think they definitely know they're going to do and then a plan, but they don't know which is going to be the most beneficial to them. Do we then do a second series? We then make
It's
them sort
possible.
of
Yeah,
bounce
listen,
around and like
yeah,
as a
the
guest
show
star
could
in
be
certain
shit. Or no
movies.
more even
You
like
just
who
give them
knows?
a
I don't know.
movie.
Whatever. Or it might not be greatly received. It could be no one gives
You
a
know
fuck.
what?
It's possible.
If the it is possible, but I'd like to think just because of the track record alone, everything that like I said, I've been rewatching the all the Marvel series to kind of take it in, and I'm actually enjoying these series the second time around, just taking it in as a binge of over a weekend. I can watch a full series, and
I think
I'm really
most of it
even
were
ones that I was like
received.
ah
But the benefit was that these were characters that we had known already, right? We knew Wanda, we knew Loki,
true.
obviously, Falcon, Hawkeye. So we knew
Falcon
these.
Winter
So with a
Soldier,
new character,
right?
Peacemaker pulled it off. He had a movie, but they pulled it off. That's James Gunn. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those. Let's see people kind of take to the guy. I don't know. Maybe.
The way I see it, the way I see it is like this. It when once Marvel figured out how to do Iron Man, I think I have a much more confident trust in
Oh
them
yeah, of course.
introducing a
Yeah.
character
Like I
almost
said,
cold, you know.
yeah.
So
Let's see. But maybe they're waiting for that. Who knows? But listen,
and I heard that they're saying that this series is going to be closer to like Daredevil Netflix in terms of the like the action violence level, as opposed to some of their standard, like as opposed to what you see in Falcon Winter Soldier, which had like a moment of intensity. This was going to be like really in it. So I'm hoping, and I think there was like rumors that we were talking about the fact that the Netflix shows are going to be showing up on Disney Plus, but internationally first, and
potentially
then eventually
domestic. They
domestic.
haven't because
So
international is going to be because they got a different brand Disney internationally, right? With the Hulu and stuff like that. That it's not really necessarily
okay,
Disney
right.
Plus per se. So, right, because overseas, like
Okay.
even Netflix is different overseas, and HBO is different. It is what it is. It's just
Right,
different
right, right.
rights, different approaches. But yeah, so yeah, I don't think we're gonna see that at least 90 times soon in the States. Not now. If they do, a Hulu kind of thing makes more sense because those shows are dark. Yeah, the dark and the language.
Right. Yeah.
It's not just the dark and the graphic nature. It's a lot of bad language and shit. Sexual content, especially Jessica Jones. That's not exactly.
Yeah.
That's not exactly
Oh, especially
Disney
Jessica
Plus
Jones that first
material
season. Yeah.
that we're used to. So that's
Right.
why I
Right.
don't think it's gonna be at least not now, or at least they figured a way to
But I
even
feel
put it on
like
Hulu makes sense.
with Marvel, would Marvel one way or the other like taking in
Of
some way
course,
or
yeah.
form the Netflix shows with them committing to a Deadpool 3. I think they have once they're talking about plans. I think they have a plan about how to start going into a little bit more mature content, not rated R, but mature content. And I think
Let's
that
see.
Moon Knight might be that first step to sort of bridge the gap to like a Deadpool
Right.
or to like the Netflix
Yeah,
Daredevil,
I didn't quite get the
Jessica
vibes from the
Jones
trailer. It just seemed very
universe.
Marvelish to me. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's what they do. But let's see. I mean,
Sure,
they're not going to promote the darkness of the show because they want people to watch it first. Fine. But let's see. Listen,
of
yeah,
course. I will say it. It would be badass if there's a shot, but like when Moon Knight is like finished having an action sequence, he turns to the camera, he's walking away, and it's just his white suit, but it's covered in like
I could see
blood
something like
splatter.
that. Not a
That
lot, a
would
little bit
be
of blood, just
amazing.
enough to where it's like it's not gonna, send the world to an upheaval. Oh my God,
I'm
people get sensitive. I don't give a fuck, but I'm just saying, families get sensitive.
yeah, I know. I'm hoping. I'm hoping there's a good splatter amount, like
Well, no,
not
yeah, well, yeah.
drenched, not
It's not.
carried, but like a
Texas
good
Chainsaw
like
Massacre, which by
yeah
the way is a fucking bloodbath.
yeah not
Awful
that,
movie,
but
but the
it's
bloodbath is great. But yeah, so
just watch the original. I'm Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You stick with the
no,
'70s
you don't need
version,
anything else.
and
It
you're
was
good.
on
You don't need
Netflix.
anything else.
I
Just
watched it.
seven.
But either way, that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there. But okay, so but let's stay with Marvel. Let's go to the main course here. This was, of course, a whole lot of Doctor Strange. We
Oh
know the
yes.
trailer got released, and there's all kinds of news coming from everywhere.
Online and TV spot with different
It's a
footage
lot. I
on
just saw
both. I
the
mean,
main
holy
one. I guess I
crap!
don't want to see too much and trying to keep things as much under wraps. But there's so much going around. So real quick, let's just real quick about the trailer. Let's talk more about the stuff surrounding the way it's on the trailer. Trailer, great.
Sure.
Let's get that out of the way. Yeah, no question. Yeah,
Great.
super excited.
Super excited. Patrick Stewart voice and back of the head,
I'm
like we
so
talked about a few seconds ago.
I'm so
That was
surprised that they dropped that. I really am, because they were pretty quiet on the Spider-Man stuff. That okay, you drop that's a pretty big nugget,
yeah.
right? That's like, oh shit, the crowd would have gone crazy.
Well,
Oh my god,
here's why I think,
because people would have seen the movie regardless.
I'll tell you why, because this trailer, aside of everything else, I think really leaned into the idea like they wanted to give an idea, but it's a multiverse of madness. And what would be crazier than just letting you smell the fingers of X-Men property? Like just like, oh, yeah, the Professor X
I get it, but
right there for you. You like that?
I was just
That's
weird
good.
because that's a big reveal. It's just odd, right? It's like if you heard Andrew Garfield's voice or Tobey Maguire's voice, it would have just killed the moment when they really come out.
But here's the thing. I feel like you do that. If you're just teasing that on the trailer, that's their code to you. Like, it's gonna get nuts. Like, we're gonna do things. If you are shocked at this is what we're letting you know. So don't even try to think about what our end game is on this one, because we're gonna blow your mind. So I'm now, as everyone is, more excited about this.
He was part of the
movie
what's that group
than
called?
ever before.
Like Illuminati. It was Illuminati. Okay, the Illuminati seems like he's
Illuminati.
Part of that.
But because he's showing up in his show in the movie about the multiverse, there's talk of like it's not just the Illuminati. By the way, the Illuminati is a secret group of all the leaders of the different sections of the Marvel universe who like share information and kind of try to protect the universe or direct it in different places to make sure everyone's safe and know what kind of threats are coming in. They usually end up doing more harm than good, but they are an integral part to Jonathan Hickman's storyline to Secret Wars, which where the multiverse gets destroyed, and it's amazing. Like, you got to read it. But I think this is them doing the multiversal Illuminati, which is a different, instead of a different representative from each corner of the Marvel universe, it's a different from multiple universes, or at least the most powerful universes. And I think that's what's going to be going on with that. So I'm really excited about that take.
They can go so many different ways, and this movie's going to be bonkers. We know that. A lot of cool visuals. That were one where he's kind of flying, he's hugging somebody that they're like in block shapes or whatever, like their faces.
He's hugging right. He's hugging America Chavez.
Yeah,
and his face is breaking the chunks.
Yeah, a lot of cool shot. The one with the like a zombie fucking Doctor Strange, whatever. I don't know, whatever it was. That looked fucking
zombie
cool
Doctor Strange. There's that even the fact that there was dinosaurs in the background, which if you're a Marvel fan knows they're referencing the Savage Land, all that. I was like, man, this is, and as exciting it was to see Patrick Stewart there, also take into context, this is the first verifiable Marvel Cinematic Universe with a mutant, a 100% mutant, not an Infinity Stone enhanced person. Not it is with Xavier being there. Mutants are now canon in the Marvel universe.
He's there, but not as they give us another bonus situation. God forbid that happens.
No, you can't.
Oh my
God,
that'd be if he's named
Illuminati is not,
something else. It's not even Professor X. He's whatever. Give him a different name. That would be the worst fucking swerve ever.
Chucky X.
Oh my God, I walk out of here. I'm not going through this nonsense. It really be bad. It's really bad. I doubt it, but I'm saying just whatever. Worst case scenario.
To me, it looks like, if anything else, it feels like Doctor Strange is fulfilling the promise that WandaVision set up, and we all thought that we got screwed over. Doctor Strange is like, no, this is it. This is everything you thought.
She's going to be
all the
theories
are right.
I think they made that perfectly clear.
Yeah,
so nothing we had that was being rumored forever that was going to be the case. So okay, this just confirms it, which fine. It's not a big spoiler. I think we all knew that was going to happen anyway. That looked cool. Now listen, I've heard so much shit. Captain Carter's supposed to be in this. Um,
Heard that. Heard the Captain Marvel, which is Monica Rambeau's mom,
right.
is supposed to be in this. I heard Balder the Brave, which is Thor's other brother, which rumored to be played by Bruce Campbell, is going to be part of the Illuminati. I heard that Michael Fassbender will play Magneto in it. I heard that Tobey Maguire is going to be in it. I heard that Charlize Theron is going to be on it as Cersei, which is Doctor Strange's girlfriend, daughter of Dormammu, and the Sorcerer Supreme from the Dark Dimension is supposed to be in it. Like, I've heard every
there's
version of
all
every
kind of
rumor of
yeah.
everything. I
Deadpool,
heard
but that
Deadpool's
was
going to be in
that
it.
was
I
debunked. The
heard every.
Wolverine nonsense.
Well, Wolverine, I heard it got debunked. I
Yeah,
heard
that's
debunked for
debunked.
sure. Well, no
Deadpool,
Wolverine.
that's debunked. That he's not in it, and that's a guarantee. Um,
Okay.
I mean, Captain Carter was confirmed, so to speak. Um,
Right.
yeah, there's one theory because I have reached out and I told you earlier I was supposed to get a picture, right? I didn't get it yet.
Right.
Someone else had gotten it and they would advise not to share it. So that's what I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd share it, but whatever. But apparently.
We don't want to burn bridges that
That's
fast.
fine.
I'm just saying.
If it's given to me, it's because they don't care. Whatever. But all that being said,
Okay.
the only thing I can say what the picture was, there was a character, for whatever this is worth, this means nothing. I don't know. With somebody wearing jeans. That's not exactly an attire we normally see in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to think who. I mean, Wolverine will be, I guess, kind of comes to mind.
Yeah, Wolverine is the guy who I
Right,
usually
but
think wears
he's not in
jeans.
this. That's my understanding. So I don't know. I don't know. Like, okay, what is? I don't. I'm trying to. Who else? Hulk, I guess, but that's not a big reveal. Maybe I don't know. I guess I don't know.
Unless it was Edward Norton Hulk. I mean, that's the only thing I can think
A
of.
couple of pictures I'm still hoping to get. It's supposed to be like, wow. That's what I hear. They're like, it's
It's
right.
supposed to be
not just
wow.
one, but it's a several
Okay.
things are like
All right.
I'm more story. It's not just like fucking cameos and shit. That just talking about like story elements that these pics reveal are
Okay.
supposed to be wow. For whatever that's worth. I'm like, okay, this is why I'm trying to get that something at least or whatever. So
Okay.
whatever. I
Sure.
did
Sure.
hear
Sure.
a theory, and this is an interesting theory. And I'm trying to get
Okay.
this, and I got yay or nay either way. So I don't know. One source I do trust. No, another one I don't always trust, but he sometimes right said yes. So I'm gonna toss you away. So this is unconfirmed. This is just speculation. Just make that perfectly clear. So it started because I guess this theory has been going around. So either way, because this pertains to, I guess, from the comic, right? From I think House of M. You correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, there's at the end of the comic or whatever, whichever comic it is, or near the end, where I guess.
Was it one
Right,
that
she
takes
said,
away
yeah,
all the
no
mutant
more
powers? She
mutants.
says no
So
more mutants.
the understanding is that
Right.
the opposite is going to happen here, where she'll say something effect of mutants or whatever, something revealing about mutants, and they're going to appear, suggesting that due to her trauma, she actually erased mutants from everyone's memory, like with SpiderMan with Doctor Strange. And they were there all along. Just
all
so
right,
when she
that's nice.
says mutants, it's gonna park back in everybody's memory. They're gonna be already existed in that world. She just erased, but now everyone's gonna remember them. They're gonna be there, and that's how they get brought into the MCU. Interesting theory, which I've heard could actually be true. For whatever that's worth, be true.
I heard that same rumor. I forgot where I heard this take on it, but it was one of the very popular
one. Yeah, which is why I dug deeper on that one. And like I said, I got a yay and nay on this. So for whatever that's what, I don't know what to make of it. But it's possible.
I heard not only does she do that, but they recontextualize your statement. So instead of saying no more mutants, it's no period.
More mutants. Change the wording. Yeah. So some along those lines, and then brings them back. I'm like, okay, that's an interesting take on that. Okay, I guess it's fine, right? I mean, I don't know. You tell me. How does that sound to you? If that ends up being true, and that's introduces that.
I've heard everything from, like, of course, that mutants have been all the time, but she's wiped memories. I've heard that when she says like no more multiverse, and she makes everything collapse into one, and only the strongest aspects of the multiverse now exist in this one type of timeline. But then it goes against Loki's situation with the multiverse in the wild. Right. or maybe she, she refuses to give up her children that live in a world of mutants, and she just brings that dimension over to ours. So just these two get merged together. Essentially, the quasi X-Men world. So this way, you have mutants, you have pre-existing mutants, but you can start the X-Men off as if they're just starting off now, but incorporate their histories of things as if it's always been part of it. Like I've heard so many versions. I don't know. All I know is this. After No Way Home and after Loki, I have not been disappointed, and I've been nothing but impressed
this
with
is going to be
their
really cool.
handling
really
of
cool.
this.
And
so,
like I said,
I not,
and we don't
even
know.
a concern.
I'm not saying that mutants are going to be in this. You get Professor Xavier, fine, fair enough. But as far as other mutants, I don't know if we're going to see anybody from the Fox version or some shit, whatever. I don't know. Who knows? This may not be the time, or maybe this is where they lay a foundation, not necessarily, hey guys, we're here. Fantastic Four, I've heard.
John Krasinski as Reed
that.
Richards, I heard that
Iron
too.
Man.
Yeah.
So much shit going on.
Well, I even heard to the point they're saying that Tom Cruise is not going to play Iron Man, but he's going to play a variant of Obadiah Stane and be Ironmonger, which I thought was kind of interesting too. So I was like,
I don't want to see a bunch of cameo. I don't want to see this. This universe. Hey, it's my Tom Cruise. I don't want to see it. Give me a good story.
Eventually,
I don't want to see just cameos for the sake of cameos. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that.
Eventually, you're gonna get to a point where it's just all of us are gonna end up sounding like a bunch of stoners going, it'd be cool, man. Like, it's gonna have to be a moment where all of us gotta stop and go, you know what? Let's just wait for the movie to come out, and then we can see who's right and who's wrong.
It's still a few months away, so the stuff may drop, or I might get some info. What I'll review that, warnings, of course, beforehand. But yeah, I mean, listen, nothing else because of No Way Home. We know this was the potential of anything could come to fruition in this film. You name it, whatever you can imagine. But it only serves to make it makes it worse for us because now your expectations and what we want.
And I feel like that's something we all have to curb is whenever expectation gets so high. Like I remember we were talking about this right before Spider-Man No Way Home came out. We had said, we have to stop wondering about what's going to happen. We just got to wait for the movie because if we keep building our heads, nothing. Like they could do the most spectacular thing and it won't be enough.
Yeah, I like your idea, but it happens all the time. It happens all the time, and it happened a lot. And
I think that's
that
one
was
of the
like the biggest theme because how many after the first episode, all I heard was like 100 theories, which like 90% never came to fruition. It just
and here's the kicker about WandaVision. I've had people who've never watched WandaVision. I told them binge watch Wanda and then talk to me about it, and they're like, "That was a great series." Because they were not part of the hype. They were not part. They just watched it as is and enjoyed it. And I think that's kind of thing. If WandaVision taught us anything, is that you got to get to a point where you have to stop and go. I'm just gonna wait.
It's easier said than done. Let's be honest, because we're just as guilty
it's like
as the next person.
It's like trying to stick to a diet. You should eat the healthy thing, but you're eating Oreos and ice cream in the dark like a troll. Like it does, but it gives you imagination. It gives you imagination diabetes, and next thing you know, you're losing a foot.
No, I get it, but we all. I mean, you're right. This one where it's going. The imagination is like running amok, and there's going to be theories upon. There's going to be so. This is what wouldn't be. Listen, this may be the case where this will be the first time we're going to get an oversaturation of theories, and we're just going to get sicker. It's like was it the old trick how you stop smoking? You keep smoking until you get sick and tired of it. This may be the way that time. Like we're just so sick of hearing this bullshit, and who gives a fuck? I'm tired. Let me just see the fucking movie and whatever.
I think older fans will get to that because we're crotchety. But I think like 20, 30-year-olds, my kids are 8 and 12, and they're like, they are perfect because they're super excited about it, but they don't think about it until it's in their face. So if they're not watching the trailer, it's out of sight, out of mind. So, and I think that's the way we got to handle Doctor Strange. If we've learned anything from WandaVision, and if anything from Peacemaker, why do you think Peacemaker worked so well? Because we had zero expectations.
You're absolutely correct. So I guess that's why I'm not watching any more trailers. I don't even want to know because it's just gonna.
And it was great.
Yeah, it's gonna raise that expectation level. So I'm not seeing any more. That I said I'm done with trailers for that movie. I am. I can't.
I'm not. I'll always watch more trailers. There's only been one series that I never watched trailers for, which is Transformers, because I wanted to get blown away by the transformations. And so I did that.
There's a lot
The
of reasons
first
not to watch the trailer or the movie, but
listen, at the time, the transformations were worth it. It didn't. They got too close, and then everything just looked like modern technology. Like, no, this is like an Industrial Revolution video, and I set up a fight. I don't see what's going on. But that's like
I get it.
I'll watch a trailer, but I might, unless the trailer once again drops some nugget that was not expected. I'm gonna pull back on my theorizing. I'm just gonna enjoy what's out there.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'll probably watch the trailer, but if something happens, I'm gonna end up hearing about it. But what it is, I mean, I'll be shocked if they do another. We just say for sake of argument, it's Xavier. If we get another Xavier
reveal moment,
I
right?
don't. They shouldn't. I don't want them to do that. I really don't. This was already enough as okay, fine, but no more. Just show us more Wanda, more the typical shit. We're gonna go watch this movie. Everyone's gonna go watch it. It's Marvel.
We're all sold.
We don't have to give us a can't. We get it. Right? Everybody saw SpiderMan and no one knew. Well, they never showed the two SpiderMan. We know
like Doctor Strange is already guaranteed 2 weekends of this movie be number one. Like they've already locked that in. So just enjoy the ride. It was locked
in before. It really was. So
enjoy the ride.
Yeah. So this pull the trigger, ease back on the pedal as far as the reveals. I don't want. We're gonna imagine they reveal something else. Oh my god, the theories will start going on. Oh my god, it'll be crazy.
I mean, disastrous. There's so much hype and questioning of who's gonna be in it. Sometimes people forget. In that one trailer, we saw 4 different Doctor Stranges. You get that, right? Yeah. There's the evil Doctor Strange, the one in the black suit, the zombie Doctor Strange, and then the Doctor Strange that's watching the movie. That's 4, and everyone's talking about everything else, and we're like, there's 4 Doctor Stranges in this movie.
Like nobody cares about Doctor Strange. I mean, right? Am I wrong here?
I care about Doctor Strange.
It's like awesome. You get the cake and just have the icing and shit. Nobody actually wants to cut through it. Dude, the cake is delicious. But it seems like no one gives a fuck, right? I'm not saying that bad, but I mean, it just is more interesting to see what it's going to give us as opposed to the actual content, the story of the film. We just want to see the X-Men. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
We just want to see Fantastic Four. Oh my God, people are going to go nuts, and that's all they're going to care about.
Does it make me weird? Because I feel like everyone's obsessing on the baby, but I'm like, I want to see the conception. I want to see how I got here. That's what I'm into. That's
called Pornhub, dude. You can see all the conceptions every day. But excuse me. But it's just well, let's be honest. Doctor Strange, I don't think it's like a super popular character. He's not Spider-Man. Right.
He's not, but I think he's popular.
He's popular, but he's not on the level where I think what people are just more. Honestly, people are just focusing more on what the possibilities of the film than the actual film. This was Iron Man. We're probably talking about Iron Man.
I think this movie is going to make Doctor Strange like that high caliber character because he had a little bit of shine in Infinity War and Endgame. He got a big shine in No Way Home. And now they're carrying that extra shine to this movie. I think we're going to be seeing Doctor Strange be elevated
I just think what the stuff around them is carrying the character.
I think, and on the offset, that's true. But when you see how Doctor Strange plays out in this movie, it's going to make the character
perhaps
equal to what I'm
saying. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing or whatever, but I'm just saying it's just.
No, that's
look, he's in No Way Home, but let's face it. Right. The juice was Spider-Man. The juice was Tobey Maguire and all. Let's be honest. This one, it could be, again, X-Men or...
The way I see it is
like the multiverse. The multiverse is the start of this film.
Right. The multiverse is going to get asses in seats. Right. Doctor Strange is going to make people go, that was a cool movie. I think that's how it's going to be.
Let's see.
Multiverse gets asses in seats. His character makes people go, that was a cool movie.
I mean, but again, God, stay tuned. We'll be talking about this for the next, 2 months. When does the movie come out? May 4th? May something?
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever it is. So here, more theories upcoming in your face. It is what it is. That being said, that's a wrap.
Guys, we were gone for a week and a half. We came back strong with almost too much, but we needed to catch up and we need to talk about it because, guys, we're Nerdsplaining. That's what we do. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. We appreciate all the followers. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click all the notification buttons that we can get. Become a follower. Follow the the Latin Nerd News channel, where you can see Nerdsplaining, as well as the watch list, as well as Thanos' Choice, and other shows we're getting ready to put on for you guys. We got so much more content. It's going to be awesome. Don't forget to check out ericdasilva.com to listen to all the original audio episodes on this series, and also buy my album, Adorably Offensive, available on all major platforms, but also available on my website as well. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We have at Nerdsplaining Pod on Instagram and at Nerdsplaining_ on Twitter. And of course, don't forget to tune in every week to get all your nerd breakdowns here on Nerdsplaining. Guys, my name's been Eric Da Silva. This has been Jose Romero. We have been Nerdsplaining. And if you don't know, now you know. Peace.